get the show on the road. Here we go. All right, get things going here. Just firing up some charts. Anyone going to join me on
No, I don't.
camera?
It was just a trade I did while I was working around the house. Saw the markets kind of rolling over. I set one stop. It was looking good. Set another stop. It was just too tight. Sad. Hmm?
The Magic 8 Ball made you $100. Ron, you're not supposed to take trades off the Magic 8 Ball. But how did you make $100?
Huh.
Look, I'm confident in its ability. We need to pray to the Magic 8 Ball. It is it is wondrous in what it can predict. However, I just don't want to be responsible for anyone's trades. I'm afraid one of these days it's going to be terribly wrong.
It's going to be It's going to all go terribly wrong.
Exactly. People will be hunting me and my Magic 8 Ball. We will have to flee into the jungles.
Yes, you could see them smashing, bringing their sledgehammers and smashing it at the side of the road.
Yeah. I don't have anyone on camera with me. The voice you hear is Brian's. I'm confident in its ability. We need to pray to her. And I'm on camera. What you see in my head is one of my Australian hats. For anybody in the room, you'll have to go to YouTube. But got to continue the theme.
What is the chatter? Oh shoot! Okay, this isn't working. What is the chatter on Benzinga? I see this IQ really didn't stick with the Muddy Waters downgrade or warning. It's up higher than previous day, I believe.
It was on what, IQ?
No, I don't, Julian. IQ, yeah, it was. It just got taken to the woodshed very soon as Muddy Waters came out with their.
Check out IQ.
They're saying they were a fraud.
Well, it did obviously see a tumble after that. I remember you mentioning it this morning, I think, right?
Yeah.
And then it bounced back a little bit, but not something I was watching. I traded just big names today. The only things I traded were Microsoft and AMD. Very happy with those trades. Whew. Wow.
Sure.
You let me down, Brian. You're not had it up.
What's that?
Sorry? I think your microphone cut out.
No, I didn't think it's still here.
Oh,
why not?
So I don't know if you've got a hat. I can't see you. I have no idea.
I do not have. I am not wearing a hat today.
Here we go. Come on. It's our thing.
It's our thing. Yeah, I'm just trying to think what other hats do I have? And anything else would pale in comparison.
Well, you know,
Would have been
sometimes it's just about
what's.
originality.
But
It's funny how
okay.
things have unintended consequences, eh, Brian? You wore it once, and now look what's happened.
Everybody expects it.
Everybody expects a new hat all the time.
Yeah.
Got my little Aussie hat on. For those of you that don't know Australia, look, my hat actually says, on the brim, it says, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Who knows the appropriate response to that? Do we have any Aussies in the room? If I say Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Anyone? Well, it says on the inside of the hat what you're supposed to say. Oi, oi, oi. That is the appropriate response. Hey, there you go. Sorry, I missed that. LK, thank you. Now they spell it. This is interesting. They spell it on the hat here. O-I. I thought it was O-Y myself, but on the hat they're spelling it O-I. Oi, oi, oi. I don't know the origin of that, to be honest, but B-Rad, they say that at Oktoberfest? Well, maybe it's always Oktoberfest in Australia. They do like to drink beer.
Hey, Peter, Brian.
Hey, Mike. I think I lost Brian.
Was he up on camera? I stepped away.
He was
I had to
not
walk
on
away
camera.
before I forced myself into a trade.
Yeah, he wasn't on camera, but he was on the microphone. He's disappeared now. Let's just check here. It says he's still on mic. Just can't hear him if he's out there. He's probably finding a hat. That's probably what he's doing.
That could be it.
I hope so.
So we'll see when he comes back.
Otherwise
I'll hop on camera if he's already.
Otherwise, it's just me.
If he doesn't have a hat, so.
Yeah. You had a pretty good one yesterday, Mike. I'll give you that. What? What's going on? Why did I have Andrew on camera?
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Here we
go.
Here we go.
I am El Zorro.
Let's move Brian up into the pole position here. There we go.
There you
Nice. Excellent.
I should have. I can't wear my little bandana mask, unfortunately. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to see anything.
Do you have the do you have the épée, the sword? Are you carving Z's into things?
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
I would love to see you carve a nice big Z on the wall, that nice blue wall behind you.
I'd have to do a B. I'd have to do a giant B.
A giant B. That's harder. It's not straight lines.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right. Well, let's get serious.
Yeah. So I've been watching
the come back.
Yeah, I said I've been watching Microsoft and AMD all day today. Now, they have been, both of them, moving with the markets, but I've actually found them to give me some good signals and some good moves. So, some good trade. I'm not in a trade right now, but that's what I've been trading. Mike, did you say you forced
morning too?
Sorry, Brian.
Yeah, as I was going to say, I found that this morning too with what was the other stock? I found that with. There was another one that just, I know what it was, Baidu.
Really?
Yeah, IQ, and then Baidu was supposed to follow it down because IQ had some position in IQ, and IQ was getting, and eventually it did, but I just didn't trade. I didn't jump on that trade, unfortunately.
Right.
So So I can see our favorite stock, TR, Tootsie Roll, up in the green.
You're being liberal on
Tootsie
the
Roll,
hour. I'm
Tootsie
not
Roll.
sure that's our favorite stock,
Okay,
but
right. Well,
I'll give it to you.
okay, I guess just mine. Just my fave.
Why am I not getting Baidu up
So,
here? Come on, Baidu.
so we had a pretty good sell-off into from about 12 o'clock on. Now we're getting some pretty big bars here on the 15-minute. Buyers and sellers duking it out. I think we're going to just be, I think it's just going to be a bit of a chop fest into the close here by the looks of it. We've had a big run too. I mean, I think that this is a little bit of exhaustion, buyer exhaustion.
Well, I am surprised. Like Brian, we were talking about the market direction, and I was sort of surprised to see the markets gap up today.
Yeah. Well, they were. Last night they were green, and then they went red, and then later they were green again. So it was. I don't know. I couldn't really see if there was any specific news that they were trading on. And the buyers definitely took control.
Yeah. As we were saying, if you look at the trend for the day, the SPY definitely looks weak, and it's been down for most of the day. We had a big pullback from 11 to about 12:30, but we have to remember, despite the fact that the market's been generally heading down today, it is still green because we gapped up so much that it's still green on the day.
Yep.
But I was going to ask you, Mike. You had mentioned that you'd forced yourself into a trade. So what did you end up taking?
Oh, no, I had to walk away because I was going to force myself into KSS. And because all day today, it's the same thing that had been happening to me a couple weeks ago, where I'd look for a 5-minute, and if it makes a new 5-minute low, I don't get into it. So all this morning, KSS, MU, MGM, right as my setup's playing out, it makes this sharp move down, makes a new 5-minute low, so I don't get it. So I don't get into it, and then it moves in my direction. So again today, KSS was about setting up for me, made a quick 5-minute low, and then started to break up, and I could just feel myself saying, "Yep, everything else today's worked. Take this trade," and so I had to walk away. Luckily for me, I walked away because it would have stopped me up.
Right.
It was right about 1:15 or so.
1:15
on the West Coast, or 12:15ish. So it's just that urge that you have that I gotta.
Right. Well, that's good. Like we talk about, that's the discipline that it takes to, sometimes the best trade is no trade, especially if you're, going to put yourself in a position where you're just taking trades for the sake of taking them. So if they don't follow your rules, don't take the trade. That's simple.
Yep.
It's that simple and that hard.
Because the rules are there to protect you, whether you like them or not, when you're trading.
Yeah, exactly.
You love them. You love them when the market's not open because you look at them and you're like, yeah, these are great. And then when the market gets open and they're starting to restrict you, you're like, I hate this rule. Why did I put this in there?
Stock operator, thanks for being with us today. Good luck at Costco. My son works there, so he's there every day. So be nice to your Costco workers. They've been busy.
Yeah, I guess they're not handing out free samples these days, are they?
Well, that's what we were asking them about that.
No
and
free samples.
They're like, no, they shut that. What is interesting, if you've ever been to a Costco, is they have the little food concession, right, where you can buy pretty cheap food, actually. They've had to shut most of it down, at least here in the one that he's working at. The only thing they sell are full pizzas, so because you can just buy a whole pre-cooked pizza, and hot dogs. Yep. So apparently they can still serve hot dogs because apparently nothing can kill a hot dog. The virus does not affect a hot dog at all. So I just
nothing. Yeah. It's not really meat.
Yeah. So, anyways, I just found that amusing that they'll still sell hot dogs. They won't sell the sandwiches or anything else, but hot dogs, sure. What the heck? Anyways, I feel like I told you guys that before.
Hot dogs are. You never know what cues into a hot dog, especially the turkey ones. Those are the ones that I don't get.
I had a boss that used to say all the time, "You might love eating a sausage, but you really don't want to know how they're made." And he used to say that with relation to like our business development. When I'm like, I don't understand, how the hell did they strike this deal? Got to remember, I used to do like $100 million, $1 billion deals, so they're very complex, and you get it. I used to have to manage those deals, and I'm like, what the heck were they thinking? He's like, look, you don't want to know. You don't want to know how they're made. It just just get on with eating it, sort of thing. I always found that interesting.
Get on with eating it.
Well, in this case, delivering the deal. But I've had a lot of good bosses that have given me good quotes over the years. I remember when I just started at Nortel, I had a director that I was working for at Nortel, and I was making a point, and he just stared at me until I finally stopped talking, and he said, "Peter, when the head of the nail is flush with the table, you can stop hammering." I'm like, I think he just politely told me to shut up. You made your point. All right. Thank you, sir.
So it sure looks like Microsoft's going to keep pushing higher here.
David, you should countersink it. I wish I'd thought of that. I could have used that as a comeback to him, but I was not. I just shut up.
Wow, a lot of volume.
Whoa. Yeah.
Wow. Look at that big damn
That was
wow. That was a tankorama. What happened there?
Tankorama. Wow, look at Microsoft. Microsoft.
If you look at the SPY on the 5-minute chart, it's interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last time it did this, it did 4 upticks and then a huge dump.
Yeah, same thing. Now we're right back down to support again.
Actually, it's roughly had that pattern all day when it's dumped, Mike. Now that I look back on a 5-minute, you're right. It did it right out of the open. It's only 3 candles there. Did it again. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, guys, this is why I don't generally trade the last half hour, because things get a little unpredictable like this. Like, you could have been in a great green trade on Microsoft as it went from previous close, right? You've been riding this all the way up for the last 10 minutes, and then in the blink of an eye, suddenly you're red.
Yeah, rug pull. Yeah. No, I was actually looking at an option trade, but I'm glad I didn't take it.
Yeah, it's probably a good
Well,
thing.
these are not on the daily charts. There's a lot of candles here that that bullish. For example, MGM is going to go out on a red daily candle. JD, same thing. All of these candles are kind of reversal candles. Zoom kind of held Microsoft, again, it's a pretty strong reversing candle here. It's on the daily. Just looking at all the stocks on the daily right now. Uber.
Wow.
Six looks like it really did spike up here.
You might need to move that mic closer to your mouth, Brian. It keeps cutting out on us.
Okay.
Oh, there you
All
go.
right. That's my hat. Can't wear this.
Yep, the hat's getting in the way.
Well, you know, you can get rid of the hat if it's interfering with the microphone.
What do we got? We got, should I stick with it for the last 6 minutes? All right. Now I can put my glasses on so I can see too. Wow, SPY is really rolling over.
Yeah. It definitely wants to go down to that previous day close. It's trying at least.
Let's see here. I got. There doesn't seem to be any news that's driving this sell-off. That I'm not hearing anything, at least on Benzinga.
No, have you looked at
Yeah,
oil,
I haven't
Brian?
heard anything either.
Have you looked at like USO? It's
Oh, I see. It has dropped. It's coming back up though.
coming back a little bit, but
That's interesting.
big drop through the afternoon.
Yeah, I'm just, this is really going to be a any sort of news releases or anything like that out of JP Morgan or not out of OPEC is going to be probably a cause for things to move around.
Yeah. I was just checking to see if we had any earnings. Not much after the close. We have Levi Strauss that reports at 4:15.
Yeah, we've got Levi. We do have Levi, exactly.
But that Levi, it's funny. I remember I was really excited. It was a little over a year ago, I think, that they hit the market. Or was it 2 years ago now? I remember it was in March.
I think it was about a year ago.
Was it a year ago? Because I remember when they launched the IPO, and I thought they're IPOing like they've been around for 100 years, but apparently they've been public and they went private and then they're going public again. But it was okay to trade for about 2 days and then nothing. It was terrible. So I don't think I've traded it since. Like today, it's got some vol at 2.6 million shares, but yeah, it's not good trading.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how we go out here. We're still holding on to green, but a lot of stocks have sold off and are red or flirting with red. Apple's down. That's interesting. Facebook is still holding on.
Yeah, we're sort of sliding here. Well, again, I'm still impressed with the Magic 8 Ball. It did not lie to me. Thank you, 8 Ball.
What do you think? I said I thought that there was a chance we were going to end up in the red. We've got 2.5 minutes to get there.
Minutes.
Well, Brian, there's still a chance. I mean, as you say, it's.
We just need another one of those flushes like we just got about 3 or 4 minutes ago.
Right.
We're right at near the lows of the day. Yeah, not exactly a constructive close, I would say.
Yeah.
Tesla's up.
A lot like the open, up and down.
Yeah. We are looking like we may go out at the low of the day. See, now we're in the 80s. We've got 1 minute and a half left. Should I be cheering for this to go lower?
Well, that's all right. If you want your prediction to be right, it doesn't have far to go.
I see Andrews.
It's not going to affect the market greatly.
Andrew has joined us. Oh, now we're down in the 60s. 66 cents, I saw.
Yeah.
We got 1 minute. 1 minute.
It's going for the low.
All right. Uber's finishing out on the day, maybe red. Oh, MRSN's on a tear into the close. There we go. Here we go. We're down to 16.14. Oh, come on.
And there's the bell. There's the bell.
Just above.
So
I can't believe it. Oh, we almost did it.
Oh, you were that close, Brian.
Does the after hours count?
Well, it's still it pulled back up as soon as the bell went, but it might get there. I mean, it'll probably get there overnight. So, yeah, wow.
Maybe.
Hey, let me just take.
Well, there you go. That was
yeah.
That was an exciting close.
It was. Take a quick opportunity. I want to mention some of the stuff that we've got upcoming because this week we've actually got a full slate. Actually, let me look at tonight. Starting with tonight, we have Dr. Jonathan Katz that'll be with us, and these are all for our lifetime members in the room. So, how to improve on the fear of taking a trade. So that'll be his webinar at 8:00 tonight. That's always that'll be a good one. I especially am looking forward to going to that seminar because that's one of the problems that I have. So again, tonight at 8:00, and then tomorrow at 8, I'll be giving a seminar on how to use the VWAP and what I call the lightning bolt pattern to take trades, and I'll show you sort of in detail how it works. It'll be an interactive seminar, so that'll be tomorrow night in our classroom. And then next Wednesday on April 15th, we have special guest Brian Shannon from Alpha Trade that'll be here to talk about how to trade using the anchored VWAP, which is a relatively new concept, but one that people are using to drive their trades. So we got 2 weeks of using VWAP in different ways. That'll be exciting, and then our psychology webinar tonight. So there's a couple of things that we've got going on at Bear Bull Traders. We always seem to have different classes, different education going on, let alone all of the material you can always find on our website for our paid members. All right.
So we have gone red, just so people know.
Just for the record, eh, Brian?
just for the record.
Just for the record,
maybe I wasn't clear when I said. Yeah. I said it would go red. I just didn't say what part of the day.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Excellent.
All right.
Well done. Well, I
No.
don't think there's much point sticking
No,
around for
for
Levi
sure.
at 415. They said we'll see if it makes any moves, if it shows any sign of being worth trading. We'll see that in the morning because we'll see an increased volume at that point. After the close, I'm willing to guess this is going to be a very tough trade. So nothing that I would take after hours for sure. Tomorrow, what have we got? Anything? Because earnings don't really ramp up till next week.
Yeah.
Nothing really tomorrow morning.
We have a lot of we have the banks kicking things off next week with a lot of the big ones, probably J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Citi, BA. Yeah,
Well,
they'll all be
Wells Fargo,
BC,
yeah,
I should say.
they're Tuesday morning.
Yeah. LK. We'll see what they come out with. I mean, they're probably going to be some news release out of China. I don't know what time. Not sure what time it is there now, but I'm sure there'll be something.
Presumably that would be, what are they, like 14 hours? Something like that. 12 to 14,
Yeah,
where you are in
it
China
is
probably. But yeah.
Yeah.
The middle of the night, one way or the other.
Oh, yeah. SPY continues to drop here. And I still have some. I took a trade SPXS. Into the close.
What is it? XP?
XS.
XS?
It's a way to short the 500.
It's not coming up for me, but... All right. Well, wow. Levi's bopping all over the place here. Well, Mike, looks like you had no trade afternoon, so I admire the discipline on that. Well done.
Yeah.
Brian, thanks for...
Hopefully tomorrow things will work out a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, your evening, whatever time. Stay safe. Stay indoors. Stay away from people you don't know.
Yep. Everybody take care. Have a wonderful night. See you
Take
tonight
care.
in the psychology webinar if you decide to come. It'll be good.
Yeah. Well, I'll be
Yeah,
there for
looking
sure.
forward.
I need it.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks people on YouTube. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
Yep.
Hope everyone has a good night.
Take care. I'm just gonna answer a couple questions before I go, since we have them here in the room. Justin, does after hours cost a lot more in fees? Why use the bell? Well, I mean, it doesn't cost a lot more in fees. Really, at least not significantly that I'm aware of. The margin changes. You have to be aware of that. You have an after-hours margin with most brokers, which is usually lower than your intraday margin. But to me, the big difference is just liquidity. I mean, the volatility goes up and the liquidity goes down after hours because institutional traders will stop trading at the bell. So after hours, you just get much fewer players and much less volume. So what you'll see is the spreads increase drastically, and it can be harder to get in and out of trades as a result of that. I mean, look, I'll bring it right up here on the screen. Microsoft, for example, which during a day will never trade more than like 2 cents maybe spread, 1 to 2 cents. It was just sitting at 20 cents. Of course, as I say that, it's gone back to 2 cents. But somebody put in an order here at 162.98. But Apple maybe is another example. Apple usually trades with just a couple of pennies spread. It's up to it was up to 27 cents there, as you can see, and it's jumping quickly. Now it's 30 cents. So it's just because you've got less liquidity in the market. So I don't like trading after hours is because of that. And Mui, yes, you can go see our class schedule absolutely on our website. If you just go to education, we've got them listed there. The psychology webinars would be listed on our site we can pull it up right here, give you a peek. So you got the classes, webinars, and psychology. So under the psychology is where we're going to see Dr. Jonathan Katz. You can see it listed here with our upcoming webinar that's there. Here's the schedule for today's class. And then there's modules, right? Mike will be teaching module 1 of his psychology modules here on the 14th. So that's under the psychology. If you go to webinars, that's where we've got our success webinars listed and our other activities. So as I mentioned, tomorrow night will be the lightning bolt pattern. And then Brian Shannon that I mentioned. And then, you've got them lined up for the next few weeks. Dr. Kenneth Reed will be talking about navigating volatility. We'll have Andrew, who's going to be talking about using moving averages for short-term trading. So, we've got a bunch that are coming up. So you can always go to our website and find that. And then we have our base classes, which you can see there's a countdown for that. Talks about our classes and when you can attend those. So those are just our education classes, of which we have many more modules that are in our education center, always available. So you don't have to wait for classes. They're always there. And frankly, after we do every one of these webinars, we always post them for our members so that they can watch them at any time. Yeah, previous classes, as I said, are always available. So, all right, guys. Well, with that, thank you so much for joining me here. I really appreciate it. For all those on YouTube that chose to be with us, have a great evening. And we will be back tomorrow, probably with some new hats. And